Hi everyone, I'm Yvette Lee Blowitz from the Active Living blog Spa It Girl. So I'm here today with Shiv from One Woman Revolution, and I really wanted to ask her about Kundalini Yoga and what is Kundalini Yoga. So Shiv, can you just help me out here and our Spa It Girl blog readers to tell us what is Kundalini Yoga?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Kundalini Yoga is a science that works on the seven chakras, the aura, and the arcline. Basically, everything's an energy. And so Yogi Bhajan tells us that in the science of life, we either ride the energy or it rides us. Kundalini Yoga is one of the ways that we can start to learn to ride our own energy, to get into our own power, so that when we come across life's challenges, we're just better equipped from the inside and we feel better as we're doing it. And so that's what Kundalini Yoga is. It's that science of doing that. And Kundalini itself is your creativity. It's the potential. It's the potential of everything inside of you. And what we often think of is we're looking for power outside. We're chasing that carrot outside of ourselves, thinking that when we get to here, when we get the house, the kids, the job, that's it, we've made the success. And oftentimes we can get there and feel like it's not really that feeling. Kundalini Yoga helps us to access that from the inside and realize that our power is inside of us. And it helps us access that.
Oh, that's fantastic. Now, how did you actually get into Kundalini Yoga?
Well, I was not a yoga person at the time. It was 15 years ago, and I was actually a corporate securities attorney in downtown San Francisco. I was obviously from England, and I was admitted in New York and working in California. But I was very unhappy. I was 210 pounds in weight. I weighed 210 pounds, and I was in hospital a couple of times a year. And I was really looking for a way out, but this is what I trained for, and here I was super successful, and I was bloody miserable, And one weekend I just had to go away, and as I went away to this place, and I saw this guy doing yoga, and I was like, I was writing in my journal, this guy's doing yoga, and it's the yoga I want to do. And apparently I told him, when he said hello to me, I said, my name's Amanda, I'm an attorney, and I'm going to change my life in 7 years, because I had a 7-year plan. And he smiled and thought, well, maybe it might not be 7 years. And he did yoga with me the next morning. And he's like, I'm not a teacher or anything, but I'll lead you through a set. And it was on this wooden deck up in the hills of California. And the sun was rising in the mountains. And we were sitting there breathing. And I'd never, ever realized my breath. I felt like an engine. I was like moving and breathing in the mountains, and the sun was coming up, and I'm this like miserable lawyer, and this whole world is waking up to me, and this guy's got dreadlocks, and he lives in a yurt, and he barters, and this whole world I didn't even know about. And that's how, now I call it kissed by Kundalini. I was literally kissed by Kundalini. I came back to San Francisco. I didn't have a car. I didn't have a lot of time. And San Francisco is 7 miles by 7 miles. And there was one place to do Kundalini Yoga at the ashram, and it was a 12-minute walk from my house. It became my new refuge. On Friday nights and Sunday nights, I took a class there. And a week after I was kissed by Kundalini, I nearly died in a house fire. My house all burned down, everything that I owned inside of it. And the guy who showed me Kundalini said to me, be careful what you wish for. You said you wanted a simple life. Your words are powerful. You have a simple life now.
Oh,
and
wow.
With that, I walked out of the life that I had dreamed of and created because, I wanted more, but I had tried to do that for 18 months and I couldn't work out how to do it. I couldn't work out how to live that life. And within a week of finding Kundalini Yoga, I had courage, strength, and vitality that I did not even know was inside of me. It woke up this, hence our One Woman Revolution. It's that we have a revolution inside of us, and that's what Kundalini Yoga helps us awaken. It helps us awaken that thing inside of us that connects us to everything, that makes us realize we're not alone, and what we do has an impact on other people. And so if we want to change the world, we don't need to change the world on the outside, the same as we don't need to look for our power on the outside. We need to change ourselves on the inside, and then we will change the world collectively. And again, Kundalini Yoga for me was I didn't do it because someone said to me, oh, Kundalini yoga, I didn't even know what it was. I just did this thing and I felt amazing, you know. So, and that just got me keep going back. And I think, you know, with our YouTube channel, that's what gets people coming back. They feel better. And anything that makes you feel better, you know, what's not to love about that? You know, give me more.
And who can do Kundalini yoga? Because I know at the moment there's this big trend and the celebrities are doing it. A lot of people think that Kundalini yoga is the ego eradicator, where you put your hands up and you do this breath of fire, like breathing in and out. But just generally, like, you know me, I'm a big fan of, I've practiced some of your One Woman Revolution, Kundalini workouts on YouTube, but who in general can do Kundalini yoga?
You know, I have, this past week I got a message from a woman with her 4-year-old child, and she said that it was literally life transforming. That was on our Facebook page with her 4-year-old child. So 4 years old, so young children will do it. I used to do it when I was a nanny. The kids in the park would ask me to do yoga, they called it. And they would be like, let's do yoga. And I'd tell them the story of a giant who gets up and he stretches and then he goes out and he sees animals, and we would do different poses for the different animals. When I teach in my community class in Berkeley, I have a 67-year-old woman. I just had a 40-day online program. I had a 67-year-old woman who said that Kundalini literally transformed her life, and everybody in between. Whether you're agile, whether you can do lots of athletic things, or whether you can only sit in a chair and breathe, you can do Kundalini yoga. That is the beauty of it. And whoever does it, when you sit, yoga will meet you wherever you are. So if you sit and do yoga, she will meet you wherever you are. And if you don't do it, she will come back to you, you know, and she'll never hold a grudge against you. She'll always be there with open arms. And you will always feel better after doing it. So even for people, you know, especially people who have been sick and they can't move around, they can sit and do breathing patterns, and they will oxygenate themselves and they will have movement in their body that they're not getting otherwise. So really, that's the beauty of it. And even if you're a diehard and you're really like a warrior, go sit down and do one of my classes and spin it out for 3 minutes instead of a minute, and you know you'll be sweating it out. You know, it's got something for everyone, and there's thousands of Kriyas, and that's the beauty of it. You know, I'm going to be recording videos forever, because I'm never going to run out of different Kriyas that we can use. So that's from 5 minutes to an hour.
And for people who don't know what a Kriya is, if they're like kind of new to yoga or Kundalini, what is a Kriya in a
Well,
sense?
a Kriya is a set of poses that together collectively are more beneficial than when they're done on their own. So these Kriyas that we're talking about in Kundalini have been handed down by the yogis and the Golden Linka teachers over thousands of years. And so we keep them in the same order and the same ratio as they've been passed down. And so they have them for everything from opening your heart chakra, mastering your domain, liver detox, addiction, you know, just everything in between. It's absolutely fabulous, you know. And 10 Bodies, which is my favorite one.
Yes, that's the one I did, and I loved it so much. That was when I first discovered you. So I did the 10 Bodies, and my energy was so low, so flat, and I'm normally 100 miles per hour, but I was able to do that and then really be energized and then pass that around, you know, recommending it to some friends. So I will make sure I put that in our comments, in the comments below box, because it's such a good one, I think, to start with, and so energizing, like you said, and it makes you feel so good. But Shiv, like, now that you've kind of convinced us that Kundalini makes you feel amazing, and I know that because I've done it myself, for someone that's doing, say, yoga, whether that's vinyasa or a hatha, and they're kind of like Kundalini, what's the main difference really from just your physical, I guess, from yoga that you might do in a studio to, say, Kundalini that you might do in the comfort of your own home because you can't get to a Kundalini studio?
That's a great question. And so, yoga is like transport. All yoga gets us to the same place. All yoga raises the Kundalini. But like transport, they each take different amount of times and they have different paths. So yoga, the word yoga itself is the union of body, mind, and spirit. So there's a lot of yogas. We've brought yoga to the West, and we think of asana, the time on the mat, as yoga. That is one limb of 8 limbs of yoga. Yoga is about a way of being in life. And so that part, those classes are one part of 8 limbs. And then even then, within the class, there's different classes that have asana, which is on the physical preparation, because yoga is preparing us for meditation. That physical movement is preparing body and mind to sit and be in meditation. I actually have, let me just lean forward, a little prop here that I use for that. And so it's just a little Buddha,
Nice.
And so the yoga does this, and it like makes everything everything move, and then it's going to settle over time. Now, the different yogas, some are more physical, some are more mantra-based and they have sound, and some are more meditative. Kundalini yoga has all of those. It combines all of them. It's the totality of all of them, and that's what people are feeling. And so in the yoga scriptures, they say if you do Kundalini yoga, you'll reach it in a year. And in other yogas, takes 21 years. Now, that's not to say it's not about speed. It's just different. It's a different way of being. And it's a great addition to your yoga practice. You see, and then once you allow it to sit, now, all those flakes that we just disturbed, and that's what Kundalini yoga does, is it shakes up our system physiologically. It shakes up our emotions. It shakes up our shit. It brings us straight in front of our ego, is what it does. And then that's when we transcend that. And that's what it helps us do, because it gives us, like I say, for me, it's courage, stamina, and vitality. You get that from the inside, and it's this unshakable power. It's freaking connected. You're connected. Like, you're just like, yes!
You get a power vault from the universe and the energy field.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Yeah. And what are some other little wellness things you do to keep yourself healthy and well, like other than Kundalini? Like, have you got some other tips that you like doing, like on a daily basis, that you could share with everyone?
Sure. One of my first biggest practices was my thoughts. Because what I realized, I saw painted in Mexico this saying that said, be aware of your thoughts, they become your words. Be aware of your words, they become your actions. Be aware of your actions, they become your destiny. And at the time, I was really kind of clued into, hey, what I used to think was synchronicity or something, in hindsight, I could actually start co-creating ahead. So I was thinking about my destiny. So I realized that it's my thoughts. Everything originates with my thoughts. So what I put into my body, what I put into my mind, what I have in my environment. So sitting around, I have a 600 square foot cottage. There's sayings and Buddhas and little altars everywhere, because that's my environment. What I put into my body now is green juices and things that are good for me. My 200-pound former self is so proud of me. She wouldn't have done those things. And then, what I do for is not racing around anymore and not thinking that in doing a lot of things, I'm a human being, I'm not a human doing. And so I spend a lot more time now being than doing. And drinking my water. When I'm working with clients, that's the first thing. If you want the best tip ever to transform your life, is to have a new 9-to-5 job. Set your iPhone on the hour, every hour, and drink 8 ounces of water, and it will transform your life.
Oh, that's
it
fantastic.
Really will.
Thank you for sharing all of your excitement, inspiration, your positive energy. You're radiating. And how can we get in contact with you? So our Spirit Girl Active Living blog readers from around the world, how can they, one, get in contact with you, and two, practice some of your Kundalini through your YouTube channel?
Well, we would love for them to get in contact with us. So on Facebook, you can get us there at onewomanrevolution.tv. You can find our website, onewomanrevolution.tv again. And on YouTube, it's Shivie Cook. That's SHIVIE COOK. And we've got inspiration, we've got recipes, and we've got yoga. in beautiful places, and everything from 5 minutes to classes over an hour. So something for everyone.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, you know me, I'd love to talk to you for hours.
Me too.
But I know our Spirit Girl blog readers are sometimes pressed for time, but I really hope through you sharing everything about Kundalini Yoga, I'm very confident it'll now inspire so many people from around the world to give it a go, try it, and to feel good within themselves. So thank you so much, Shiv. And thank you to the One Woman Revolution. You're doing an amazing job, and it's just nice to see that you can change your life from being a rat race, overindulgent, overworking, to sort of finding your inner being and being comfortable within yourself. So thank you, and I'm sure next time we catch up, we'll have some more Kundalini Yoga questions to ask you. So thank you, and we'll speak to you again. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.